This week, episode 356 of Stogie Geeks, Drew Nelson and I interview Lace Wilson, CEO of Boss Bear Creative, and known as, this is such a super cool product, the Big Ash Smoke Book. We're going to talk about it. It's the #1 traditional customizable cigar journal. Love it. I'm freaking screwing this one up, right? It is the #1 traditional customizable cigar journal, log, and tracker for cigar smokers of all types. It's packed with special resources. We're going to talk about them. Built with awesome quality, and it's crafted with heirloom quality. Visit them at thebigashsmokebook.com. And later on in the show, Drew and I have Sticks of the Week. Stogie Geeks, episode 356, starts right now.
This is a Security Weekly production. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome everyone to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Josepa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up. So we also have remote Drew, who is remote over in Texas. Look at you. You got some Stogie Geek swag going on in the background.
Got my banner.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm all set up for the Stogie Geek mobile lounge.
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
Stogie Geeks, welcome to episode 356. Before I introduce our co-host, I have a really, really crazy announcement. Just so the industry knows, the internet sensation does not have your number. He has changed his cell phone. Please email Nelson at stogiegeeks.com and please supply him with your full name and email, because if you call his cell phone, he will not know who you are. Stogie Geeks, email me at joeh@stogiegeeks.com. I will give you his cell phone number. It's time to bring back Crank Yankers, for sure. Definitely. The best crank call gets some swag from me, which I'll then task Nelson to go to the mailbox and mail, or else it'll never get to you. But at least that will happen. And before I introduce our co-host, I do want to reintroduce who Drew and Nelson and myself are interviewing today. Today we interview Lace Wilson. He's the CEO of Boss Bear Creative. We are going to talk about the Big Ash Smoke Book. It's the #1 traditional customizable cigar journal. It's also a log, a tracker, has some all types of different resources in there for cigar smokers of all types. It's packed with special stuff so you can archive all of your smoking criteria. You can discuss it and remember it. If you're scatterbrained like me, this product is genius, right? Check it out. Go to thebigashsmokebook.com. If that's a mouthful and you're listening, go to stogiegeeks.com/356 and you can click on the link over there. And now it is time for me to introduce the little dark-haired kid from Texas, Mr. Drew Galvin.
Who is a Laker fan.
What's up?
How's it going? What's going on, man?
It's going all right, dude. We had so much fun on the waiting for production segment that I totally mutilated the intro and had to redo it. So, that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
And, Drew, do you have Nelson's cell phone number?
Jesus Christ.
I do, but
Okay.
I'm going to Yeah, I do
Okay.
have it. I'll make
just-
sure I text him. I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
Thank you, Drew.
Noise. I'll be very nice.
Good looking out.
There you go. Cool. All right.
To the internet sensation.
Okay.
No, well, Texas, we're having this beautiful sunny weather, 70 degrees. I know. I always give the forecast like I'm some kind of, I don't know, internet sensation webcaster. But anyhow, excuse me. Smoking my black label trading company royalty cigar today here in this first segment. Everybody's slapping the shit out of our governor Abbott because he's decided that COVID's over here in Texas, and next week by the 10th we will be mask free, and for those who want to carry on with the mask, you can do so at your own peril. So it's crazy times here in Texas because we do what we want, I guess. Not everybody agrees, neither do I, but hey, what can I say? Looking forward to Mr. Wilson, meeting Mr. Lacey Wilson here. I was looking at his big ash smoke book, and that seems pretty cool. Something I'm going to get my hands on, along with all of our Stogie Geeks listeners. So let's get on with it.
And Drew, in regards to the mask mandate, just go get some propane, fire up that grill, grab some cigars, and stay in your cigar garden for a month, and you'll be fine.
Exactly. That's the whole plan.
Right?
We stay in our little tight circle, and that's it. We just kind of, we don't go outside with the crazies. I don't want any confrontation and whatnot.
I hear you.
Didn't
Travel
you guys
circle
just
small.
get over some like crazy ice storms and power outages and shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shit show. It's a shit show right now because everybody in ERCOT and all the power companies, all the CEOs are getting blasted out of their positions. And of course, yesterday, along with that, they get a golden parachute. So it's they had power, but a lot of their customers didn't have power. We were one of the fortunate ones that are not on that grid or on their system, so we were able to side skirt that somewhat.
That's good.
Yeah.
And now, to my right is internet sensation Nelson
Internet sensation.
DeMello.
How's it going, Stogie Geeks? Cigar_squad, Cigar Squad, Instagram, check me out, Internet Sensation. I'm just going to embrace this shit. You keep saying it, I'm just going to embrace it.
Embrace it, kid. And by the way,
I got a hat. I got a hat on the way to him.
Oh,
say
Jesus.
internet
Oh,
sensation.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, we should get you one that says hashtag internet sensation and me hashtag integrity.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to make that happen.
Hashtag.
I'm gonna make that happen.
Just make sure it's a flat brim hat because I've been wearing flat brim hat and big glasses long before a couple other people in the industry. Just saying.
And I'm going to do that in old English letter style,
Yeah.
LA, bring a little LA attitude to that, yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Hey, happy to be on today. Smoking a nice front line, blue line today. This thing is fantastic. Looking forward to more ridicule and conversation with Lace Wilson today.
He's looking forward to Bacchanalia and grandeur.
We love
Here
you.
on Stogie Geeks. You know what I mean?
You're the little brother. You're the little brother in the family, so
That's how I feel.
gotta take.
I feel like the redheaded stepchild, and I'm bald, so I don't know how that's going to work.
you know, what are you gonna do, right? It's
Lace and I have the same haircut, though, so I appreciate
That's cool.
that.
Yeah, we do.
but
Yeah.
if Lace went to T-Mobile and changed up his phone, I bet you he'd have his contacts. Just saying. Just what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Lace backs up his shit.
You know what I mean? Like,
This is not cigar related.
Why not? Especially like Nelson has like a Gmail. Oh, welcome to 1998 there, kid. You know what I mean? Now you gotta put it on your Gmail and back it up and poof. It's amazing how that thing works.
Technology.
Anyway.
We are security. We are a security company, so we all of our staff have access to premium.
This is more reflection on your company than mine.
It's not actually. Stogie Geeks was a spinoff of Security Weekly, so it's
Well,
there you go. We're separate.
I stand correct.
Yeah, great, Drew. Now the attorneys are gonna come.
Sorry.
Because all the copyrights, and here we go. Right. Anyway, let's introduce our guests. Lace Wilson is the CEO of Boss Bear Creative. We are going to talk about the concept, and it's not even a concept, the finished product of the Big Ash Smoke Book.
Look at that. That looks awesome.
Dude, this is so cool. Lace, first of all, welcome to Stogie Geeks.
Thank you, brother.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, glad you're here. I want to take some time and talk about the book for you Stogie Geeks who are going to just listen. There's a little bit of a visual component on there. So if you just end up going to stogiegeeks.com, you can check that out as Lace takes us through some of the features. And I am going to be like Vanna White. Here comes some more copyright infringements, right? Well, I'm going to be like Vanna and display some of the stuff as he's taking us through his product. With Stogie Geeks, you definitely want to stay listening to this because it's such a super cool idea and it's such a super cool price, and I definitely think that this is so needed, not only for smokers to kind of sort through their own journey, but to also guide them through their journey. So Lace, take us through the product.
Yeah, man. Well, here's what the whole thing behind it was. That, I'm a fairly new cigar smoker. I've only been smoking cigars, I would say, in like a hobby pace for probably the last year and a half. Before that, I dabbled here and there like most people do, but it was nothing serious. But as I got into smoking, I was like so overwhelmed by the amount of options and not understanding a damn thing, not knowing the difference between Maduros, Connecticut's, the countries, flavors. So I was having a very hard time trying to figure out what I liked and what I didn't like and why I liked what I liked and how to find other cigars with that same flavor profile. So I started just taking notes, and like most people, it was just disorganized and I didn't have any actual prompts. So it wasn't working too well, and having like a graphic background, my wife was like, why don't you create yourself like an entry sheet that everything would be the same every time that you want to use it. And I thought that's great. So I threw together a book just for myself, and people were just going crazy about it. Like, what is that? Where do I get it? And I was like, hey man, this is great. So I just started to, give people copies of it. And I really relied on the cigar community to help me perfect it, because I'm still so new. So I was listening to feedback from hundreds of people and making sure I had the right flavor notes and the entry prompts that were most important to people. And now I got this great book that I think is really needed in the cigar industry, because I did try some different journals before, dossiers and the apps, and nothing worked for me. I'm a traditional guy and I really like to write things down. I like to have things in my hand. I think that, cigars is such a intimate, personal thing. And for us to enjoy the whole process of smoking, the smells, the taste, the feels of the wrapper, all of it, and then to have to pick up your phone to log stuff in, to me just seemed, I don't know, it really broke my experience. So I wanted something that was on paper. And, this smoke book has honestly changed my life. So I'm glad that I have the opportunity to get it out there for other people too.
Dude, let me tell you something. You first of all, here's what I'm impressed at, right? This is my product. I'm looking for feedback. How to make it better.
Yeah, I want it all.
And you know something? To open up a business and to have that open mind is so critical, right? And me coming from a print background, that can get costly. Oh, we're going to do a different version. Well, if you printed X amount before and now you got to go through the old version, and then when do you convert to the new version and all of that. From a logistics standpoint, that can be a nightmare, right? Without turning this into a printing episode, what I like about this book is the concept, okay? I went through that journey. When I first started smoking cigars, we would do it at the dog track when I was working for Xerox, right? On Fridays, we'd all cut out at 3:30, go to the dog track or the horse track, bet some horses, hang out, smoke some cigars, catch a boxing fight, bing, bang, boom. That'd be a Friday night, right?
Right.
Super cool, kind of like guy stuff, right? I guess, right? Back in the day there and whatnot. And I remember being at different things and like, wow, I really like this cigar. Well, let me put the wrapper in my wallet, right, to remember it, right? But then all those little nuances you forget, right? And then you go and get it, and it might be a different shop or a different batch, or now they don't make it, and all the stuff that we talk about here on the show. And you're like, man, I lost the wrapper, or I cleaned out my wallet, and it's out of sight, out of mind, because I truly, truly believe that, you know, the daunting task for all cigar rollers is, how do I stay in the consumer's mind in a product that after 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever your smoking cadence, you go back to your regular activity, right? It's not a household name. Like, you know, like, it's not like Clorox where you're speaking to your significant other. Boy, I really like those Davidoffs, or I really like those Caldwells or any, you know, Monte Cristo, or anything, right? You tend to have that with your friends in the cadence of when it's your cigar time, whatever the cadence of your cigar time is, as opposed to your household duties or whatever. So the consumer is challenged by that. And so you met the challenge of the consumer. Now, also, I don't want to go poo-poo on some of the apps, but in a world of apps, right, I was the same way. I've downloaded a bunch of apps. I put them in, and I put my notes in, and your fingers get too fat, and you're like, dude, like, this is ruining my cigar experience. Now, I am a journal person, pre-you, anyway, right? You go to my house, I have different books for different years, right? And this is this year's, right? I went old school with the leather binder and all of that type stuff, right?
I like that, dude. I have like the same one almost,
dude. And it's crazy because I take notes in here. I take notes in here for appointments for work. Take notes in here for business ideas. I have my stock portfolio, not the whole portfolio, like things I'm looking at and whatnot. Because or even business concepts. I have old business concepts from 20 years ago of when I put businesses together from my businesses and all that, because that just works for me. And the writing experience for me helps me maintain it, because I remember in the days of my high school days from learning, and I remember with another valuable life's lesson. I know I spoke to you, Drew, and Nelson before we went on air about another valuable life lesson I learned. But another valuable life lesson I learned is that, like, if you understand concepts, you don't have to memorize them. And I learned that in 9th grade in high school, right, by one of my teachers. And I was like, wow, like, all right. So how my brain works is I try to understand the concept, and then it just gets in my head, and then it gets archived, however that works with neurons or whatever. I'm not a doctor, but, you know, played one many times. And, you know, and so it works. But more importantly, now that I'm going to land the plane, you've answered the call that most cigar smokers go through. And I think they go through it more now, because when I started smoking, you went to a cigar shop, it was BYOB, there wasn't a lounge atmosphere, there wasn't a bar atmosphere. And keeping a journal is like, it's not a new concept, but to have one that has resources in it, I think it's totally super cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I really tried to make it as comprehensive as possible, because I feel like that's where everything else was kind of falling short. And I feel like, you know, with cigar smoking, we just really throw ourselves into it, don't we? And we deserve something that's better than what's out there.
Mm-hmm. It really is a wanderlust. Like for me, tobacco smoking with either pipe tobacco or cigars, it's truly it's like I've been captivated at a young age. I've been mesmerized by the industry. I've had opportunities to work at different facets in the industry. I'm obviously still privileged to we're on a podcast about the industry, and for me it's really been like a true wanderlust, right? And
Yeah.
and it either grabs you or it doesn't, right? Some people just like to smoke. They smoke with their friends. It's social hour. Okay, cool. And then that's fine. Some people do that in their garage and they freaking get the propane heater and they want to breathe in carbon monoxide. Hey, man, knock yourself out. We've been doing that with the mask now for the past 5 years. Or I'm sorry, for the past year. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, wow, I'm having fun freezing my keister off here in the Northeast in the garage smoking, but it's Friday night. And hey, you want to do it with your friends, that's cool, because that's your wanderlust, and that's what you want to do, and that's your journey. And now you created a tool to help organize the journey or increase the value of his or her journey if they partake in the product. Getting to the product, Drew, I'm going to throw this to you. You can see this, right? So, right, it's got all these little notes in it, right? So,
wow, look at that. Yeah.
Right? So,
that
just a rundown, you open it. First of all, the book itself holds 40 sticks, right? 40.
Nice.
Well, there's multiple sizes, I think, right, Lace?
Yeah, but that's good. I like that.
Started out with multiple.
Yeah, the book has 40 holds 40 sticks. So depending on your smoking cadence, you might not want to write down every stick, but the ones that make you go, holy shit, I like, there you go.
Right.
What, Drew?
What I was going to say with that having 40, holding 40, it's pretty cool because in my mind I'm like, okay, well now I got something that can break up my Maduros, my Connecticut's, and kind of break things up a little bit, kind of categorize them, and I can see that. I can see me doing a lot of that with that product, and then along with my everyday smoking notes, and then but yet having it segmented to those particular cigars and whatnot.
And
I've had customers tell me, like, some people will only use their smoke book for cigars that they like and not ones that they don't. People will only use it for ones that they don't like so that they know not to buy them.
Oh, wow.
I've had customers say that they put one in each of their humidors and only use it for the cigars in each humidor.
Mm-hmm.
It's so interesting to see how people use it. Yeah.
And if I could interrupt, for you Stogie Geeks listeners who have ADD, I'll get to the point, right? If you go to thebigashsmokebook.com, it's $24.95 shipped.
Nice.
To your door, right? So there you go, and we'll continue and elaborate on that. So at it holding 40, you might want to pick up 2 and use one for the ones you really like, ones you don't. I like the great idea. Fill out 40 of them and give it to your family for gifts. They're always wondering, for gifts, or get a family member to get you one for a gift. You can put a customized logo on it, right? All you got to do is go to their website. Stogie Geeks, if you want one with the Stogie Geeks logo on it, all you got to do is put that in the notes when you order it. Lace has permission to do that there. So if you want to customize Stogie Geeks one, there you go, right? There are other options there on the website. Bing, bang, boom, right? Think it's super cool. But getting back to the questions, right? So first of all, you have maker, brand, flavor. Then you have shape. You got the length or the ring gauge, right? And this is all stuff that we go off the riff whenever we're doing sticks of the week, right? Country of the origin, where it comes from, wrapper, binder, filler, your purchase date, your purchase place. This works for, I remember in a pre-COVID era when we used to travel, right? I'm one who buys cigars all the way up the East Coast, and then there's some I get in Florida, and again, I'm like, wow, super cool, right? Especially, this is up my wheelhouse because I'm not worried about the regular mainstream stuff that we can get, but and maybe even not some of the boutiques, but I needed this 2 years ago. Yeah, because we had COVID. So 2 years ago, when I went to Calle Ocho, Little Havana, and I bought a whole mess of sticks from Little Havana and smoked them, and I'm like, I don't even know what the hell I smoked. You know what I mean? Because it's I went to Calle Ocho. I'm in Little Havana. They're rolling the sticks right there. You got the experience. Bing, bang, boom. And it's cool. And it's I in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to keep notes. 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 And let me just start with this one. Clip. Boom. Light. I like it. Holy cow. What is it? No clue.
Well, I think the other thing, Joe, though, you talked about cadence and lace. I think you still have the different sizes of the smoke book, right, on the website?
I used to. No, I condensed them all into the one that we have now.
Okay. So the 40 pages, right?
40 sticks.
Yeah. So the cool thing about that is that applies to everyone, right? If you're just a once a month smoker, or if you're a 5 times a week smoker, if you're an everyday smoker, right? The book applies to everything. And the cool thing is, I don't know, Joe, I don't want to jump ahead if you're going to get to it anyways, but it's more than just the journal. One of the things I really liked about the Big Ash Smoke Book was the other pages that you added into it, the thought you put into it with the, hey, these are my favorites, right? The section in the middle there that has the measurements and the gauge sizes, right? And going back to the apps, everyone I know that smokes frequently hates the apps. They just hate the apps, right?
Yeah.
And there is something, and Joe, I'm sure you're one of the reasons that this is true, is people want to hold something, right? They want to hold it, they want to write it, they want to reference it easily. And you would think the app is better, but it's not. Like, I love my Big Ash Smoke Book. You know?
Yeah.
I tried the apps, and I have the same reaction. Like, yeah, they're okay at first, but it's like, you never end up going back to it. I don't know what it is. You just don't go back to it, right? And everyone I know that smokes doesn't use the apps anymore. They start to, and then they don't. So this is a great alternative to that.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go deeper into the product because it looks like he sent you a chiclet, but he didn't. So we're gonna get to that too, right? If you open it up, it looks like he gave you.
Oh yeah,
he gave you like a. You see this little blue thing?
I was confused by it when I got
it. It's like a chiclet. I was like, dude, he sent me a breath mint. Like, this freaking kid rocks.
Yeah, right?
I was like, this kid rocks. Like, you know what I mean? But we're gonna get to that. What that is, right? So I'm still on the book, right? So we got past rapid binder filler and all of that stuff. Then you got date and time smoked. I think that makes a difference for sure. We often hear on stick reviews going to after a meal, morning smoke, whichever, to kind of give that Stogie Geeks listener a visual there. The occasion, that makes a super huge difference there. The company, where you smoked it, the food or drink pairing, the weather. Like, dude, the weather. And I'm like, dude, this kid gets it, right? The wrapper aroma, cold draw, cut type, V, cat eye, bullet, guillotine, bit it off and spit it, Clint Eastwood style, whichever, right? You put that there. Then he has gauge, right? So for you Stogie Geeks listeners who are watching, he's got a gauge. Whoops, wrong way. Got a gauge. Whoops, wrong way. Wait, right there. He's got a gauge over here, right? And, you know, obviously stuff that we talk about, mellow, mild, medium, bold, you know, and bold, the build, right? The burn, the draw. You also go as far as saying, hey, man, here's a checklist of some flavor notes, right? Stuff that we all talk about, fruity, herbal, spice, sweet, leather, coffee. I'm skimming now. Nutty, bready. I love it. Bready. That's up there with like Nelson's Farmy. Right, which is barnyard, right? If you
it's on there too.
If you missed that, the industry term is barnyard. Nelson really had us going last week with that. Creamy pepper, dilly. I've smoked some freaking dilly cigars and whatnot, and now my Rolodex, I could actually just take the flavor notes and start rattling off cigars that would fit this profile. And again, that just comes with experience and cadence of smoking and there. And then you have a place for your label, and then you have your notes, and then your overall rating, and then if you would buy it again. Like, that's a really, really complex start. And that's like a complex start for an awesome journey as well, right? Yeah. So after you scroll through some of that, right, in the center of the book, there are cigar shops that have this on a map, right near the cash register, right? And it's the ruler for the cigars, so you can measure it there, and then a ring gauge there, and then it talks about the actual cap type, right? Pigtail, bellicoso, triple cap, right? Sizes of the cigar happens all the time. You know what I mean? I like the La Gloria Cubana. The La Gloria Cubana what? Well, you know, the one with the pointy cap. Okay, according to this book, the one with the pointy cap, that would be a torpedo or a pyramid. Cool, right? Well, I like the one that's fat in the middle and then thins out on the sides. According to that, that'd be a perfecto, right? Super cool, man, because it helps the novice. Who doesn't want to ask those questions?
Right.
That's a good point, Joe. It's educational too.
It's freaking dude,
Yeah, it really is.
I'm thoroughly impressed, dude. Lace.
you, man.
There's not a lot of things that impress me in this industry, right? This is one of them.
When I got this, my reaction was there was so much thought put into this.
Yeah.
How many iterations of this did you go through?
Probably like 6.
Wow.
Yeah, I went through like 6. I was trying to find a happy medium. Some people were like, only 40. You know, I smoked more than that in a month. You know, I was taking feedback from all these people, man, and I was trying to make it like when I first started it, there was 2 entries per page, and people were like, you know, it's kind of too small. I need more prompts. I need more flavor notes. So, man, now it's a full-size page for each entry, and it seems like people are just loving that.
Yeah. Who did you seek out when you say, you know, were you at cigar shops? Were you at brick and mortars? Did you call like Noel Rojas or something like that? Like,
Oh man, I was like,
did you call Nelson DeMello, internet sensation?
Nelson, the internet sensation. If I only knew him then. Yeah. No, man, I started on Facebook because that was the social media that I was on at the time, and barely even on that. And I was joining some different like cigar groups, trying to learn more. And I just, you know, would post a picture of it and said, you know, this is my journal. If anybody's interested, you can have a free copy. I just want your feedback on it. So I gave out like 100 and some for free ones. And, you know, the most interesting thing that I found, believe it or not, the majority of people, the average person, said that they have increased their cigar smoking by 60% since they got that book. Isn't that interesting?
There's no question. Because it creates it's like a fitness plan, right? If you're if you go to that, why do you think like Weight Watchers has been around forever, right? You don't just show up and say, okay, I'm gonna pay $6 because I'm gonna lose 6 pounds, and then you walk away. You're like, holy crap, I really lost this weight, right? If you followed the program, let me continue, or let me get into. You know, I've always wanted to run a 5K. Now that I took off 10 pounds, let me get into that, and then it increases their awareness, right? It increases their awareness for that. My take, have you ever thought about doing this for the pipe tobacco industry?
Yes, I have. I'm actually working on a version for pipe tobaccos because I'm a pipe smoker too.
Yep.
And for cannabis because I've had so many people be like, man, you need to do one of these for cannabis.
Great
There's so
idea.
many different like strains, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, seriously, because
What a great idea.
Like I'm gonna put you in touch with a owner of Wilkie Pipe Tobacco, right? It's one of the oldest pipe tobacco. It's been around since the 18 change in New York and whatnot. This is like up their alley, like huge as well. Because again, having a cigar traditionally, having a pipe traditionally, I'm assuming having cannabis traditionally, I'm guilty, not a partake in that activity, but it is what it is, right? Far be it for me to deny it. It's a freaking industry that is definitely here to stay for sure, right?
Right.
You know, and it's like, okay, like I could see where people take notes, especially in the cannabis industry, where now you have like the street stuff, right? That's been around forever. And then you have like the stuff from people getting a card where you would have to keep that straight. Or dare we say what the legislative is around, right? The medical proportion of this. I tried this and I freaked the heck out. Then you could take an actual note of it. Or I tried this and you know something? It helped with my medical condition, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's
there's
crazy.
Yeah.
There's, you know, I heard from a friend, there's an app called Leafly, right? And they do exactly, it's almost like a digital version of the Ash book. And man, when you just said that, I was like, yeah, damn, like my friend, I would tell him about this, you know, cannabis book.
Yeah,
to track the different strains and what the effect was, to Joe's point.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if you were to categorize those three for me and we were launching a business and I was one of your board members of a business, I would raise my hand and say, okay, I know you're going on the Stogie Geek show, but you need to get on other shows in the pipe tobacco and cannabis, because I could see medical cannabis being like if we were to put them in order 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Because I'm going medical cannabis, and then pipe tobacco cigar industry, right? Like in order, I would go like medical, then I would go pipe tobacco, then I would probably it'd be the cannabis recreational or cannabis or cigar in that recreational, because let's face it, cigars are recreational, right? So you know what I mean. But like the medical field, like dude, now you can take your journal to your doctor who is prescribing this stuff for you. You know what I mean? And you have it laid out, as opposed to freaking doing that there. And I could see like boom, like that, just crazy explosion. I would brand them separately, right? Because of the stigma that comes with each. And I'm not talking about like, oh, it's pot or it's cannabis or freaking oh, it's cigars, it's smoking. I'm just talking about like when you're putting people in economic segments and sectors to create a business platform, right? You got to speak to your audience. You don't want to speak to general audiences, right? You want to speak to your audiences. Brand them separately on a website. Cost you an extra $34 for freaking web hosting. But however, they're branded separately and then marked and marketed separately. And then the Google Analytics will be your numbers. And I bet you 2 years from now, if you ever did that, it would go in that order.
My road clip diary.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
You know, because if you put it all together and click it's cannabis and whatnot, it gets washed out, in my opinion. Because I really think that like the medical cannabis, it's a much needed product for the medical journal aspect of that, right?
It is.
And
it definitely is.
You know, you start freaking hooking up with like the lifespans or whatever version of wherever you live and whatnot of hospitals there and programs, dude. You're out the door, man. Done.
Yeah.
Done data.
Yeah.
All day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cannabis is a good angle.
Oh, it's a huge angle.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's kind of like the cigar world. Like there's so many options, you know, and unfortunately people go into their cannabis shop just like the cigar shop, at least our local one. Like you go in there and the people that work there, bless their hearts, they literally know nothing. You know, just from a cigar perspective, you go in and you say, I like these cigars, you know, what's good in this one? What do you taste in this one? And they're just like, oh, I don't know, man. A cigar is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, come on, man. Like we have to take this back to our own hands and quit trying to, you know, get other people to help us along, because it ain't happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the reason why it's not happening with that is the rise of the lounge, right? The smoke lounge. Bars you can smoke in with the anti-smoking laws. Tobacconists have become like I don't say it's an old art. It is an old art. I mean, you know, but yeah, it's crazy. It's all good stuff. Super cool. Moving on. You have a section here. Now we'll go to the cigar only version, right? There. You have your favorite smokes. Smokes you have to try, and again, it's just make a brand flavor and who recommended it. I think that's super cool, because especially if you're sitting in a lounge, not to go poo-poo on lounges, but Drew Nelson, like how many times has this happened to you where someone's like, well, what are you smoking? Oh, I smoke this. Oh, where's that from? And you say, oh, it's from Nicaragua. Have you ever tried the X? And sometimes you're like, no, I haven't. Yeah, I have, whichever. And you know, you might want to try it. Is it in the humidor? Yes, it is. No, it isn't. You know, etc.
That was one of my favorite sections of the book, actually.
I could see favorites? You're going to try. You would need 40 pages on frickin' for you. That's how you are.
From Joe. Like everything everyone, he calls me the stick chaser. Everything everyone recommends to me, I try to find it and try it, right? And now, like I'm telling you, that he's right. That section spoke to me. I was like, man, he thought of everything. Like there's everything. Even the stupid little folder in the back. I'm like, he's got a little pouch in the back for other shit. Like he thought of everything in this book.
I'm almost there.
Everything.
I know. I'm almost there. He has a brand exploration section. Whoops.
That's ingenious, by the way.
Right?
Brand exploration section.
A little folder in the back.
For there, like right? Oh, yeah. Well, most journals do have that. So Lace it's not his first rodeo in regards to, he clearly has journals at home. Right. So, you know, it's got, and he's got some of the brands broken out. You know, Drew Estate, E.P. Carrillo, Gurkha, H. Upman, Illusione, Christoph, La Gloria Cubana, La Aurora, La Flor Dominicana, La Gloria Cubana, La Polina, Macadudo, Nat Sherman, My Father, Monte Cristo, Oliva, Padilla, yeah. See? Look at there's a kid who knows his shit right there. Padron, right? There you go. Are they in alphabetical order? No. Yeah?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they are? Okay.
Come
Right?
on.
Oh, yeah, duh. Right? I'm all right, right, etc. So I'm not gonna go through the list, but you got some.
So that's a listing. Is that a listing he has back there? I
Yeah.
haven't seen this book.
Yeah, it's a
in person.
listing.
Yeah, Drew, you gotta get one,
it's
man.
for brand exploration.
He's got everything.
Drew, he's
Nice.
got everything in here,
Yeah.
right? So then it goes there. Okay, cool, right? And then he's got a resource for hot online shops. Like, dude, you can sell advertising in this shit. Just saying. You know what I mean? Just saying. If I was on your board, dude, first of all, if I was on your board, this book be freaking $580. Right? You would have 5 spaces per, and we would still sell it. But anyway, right? That's what I'm telling you.
You know what I'm gonna add to that little project is a lot of cigar companies come out with these little scan codes. That'd be pretty cool too.
Oh,
to
the QR
stick
codes?
some of the the QR
Good
code.
idea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah, good idea.
information. Additional.
We talked
information.
about
But
that in the
that's,
news.
That's down the road.
Yeah.
That's down the road.
Yeah. You put QR codes, bing, bang, boom, but then they'd have to take out their cell phone. You got to be careful.
Cell
You
phone.
can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Sure you can. Politicians do it all the time. Anyway, moving on. It's got the hottest online shops of the notes. You can put your experience in there. I'm going through the list right quick mentally. Looks like it checks out. All right, cool. Then you have a dictionary for regions or broadleaf, Cameroon, boutique. Oh, I have never read this. Boutique.
Oh, we've talked about this on the show.
Oh, we've talked about this amazingly. on
How
the
to
show.
define boutique. We have it
Lace's book defines boutique
as
once used to describe limited supply or small batch releases of cigars from less known cigar manufacturers. Well, I think the Boutique Cigar Association should freaking reach out to you
we have a definition.
because they've been trying to define that for 2.5 years. I will repeat that. Boutique cigar is once used to describe limited supply or small batch releases of cigars from less known cigar manufacturers.
There you go.
Done. He's got Cameroon, Candela, Cap, Cellophane, Cigarillos, Tunneling, super cool word no one uses anymore. Ascuro, super cool sticks. People don't like to smoke, but I think they're great.
I like them too.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't like that Ascuro. Yeah, okay, just go back to your Marlboros. You'll be fine. Dude, conversation starters. We're gonna have fun with Nelson
nice.
on this. We're gonna have fun with Nelson on this on the end.
Right.
You're good till 2:25, right, Lace? You good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm good, man.
Because Nelson has a hard stop. Cool. All right, awesome. Remind me to do conversation starters with internet sensation Nelson. Right? Oh, dude, this is so funny. Anyway,
Why am I here?
And then
Why do I
it
even
has
come
notes
here?
and thoughts, and then a sleeve here, so you can carry stuff and do that. And if that's not all, remember $24.95, right? If that's not all, he sends you a thank you letter, like, hey man, thanks for signing up for the Big Ass Smoke Book. This is what you get. Bing bang boom. Oh yeah, he gives you a freaking pen to write with.
Don't forget the chiclet.
Nice.
Right, I'm the chiclet. I'm saving the almost best for last. Conversation starters. Conversation starters are going to be hilarious, right?
You got to light the candles before you blow them out, Nelson.
Yeah,
Come
Nelson,
on.
chill out, right? He gives you a pen, right? And then it's got there, and then he gives you a sticker. Which after this show, this is going on my freaking sticker board over
Hold
here.
up, I didn't get a sticker. Hold on a second.
Oh, you didn't get a sticker?
Lace, I didn't get a sticker with my order.
Lace, don't
Well, the
ever
stickers are
send him
new.
a sticker.
Internet
Nelson,
sensation.
can you get one?
I
Nelson,
did not get one.
Internet sensation Nelson is banned from the sticker.
I got the chiclet, the pen, and a nice piece of rope.
But
That was it.
And then if that's not
No
all,
sticker.
and if that's not all, the final piece before we get to what questions Drew and Nelson have, and what Lace wants to say, right? He sends you something, ladies and gentlemen. Do not eat it. It is not a chiclet. Okay. Lace, describe what this thing that, for those of you who are listening, you might want to watch this episode for sure. There's a lot of visual to it. Lace, describe what the blue thing that is probably within millimeters of the same size of a chiclet is.
Yeah. It is reusable, repositionable, non-damaging adhesive. So you just rip apart the tiniest little balls, like period size, and you put one on each side of your band, one in the middle, and put it right on your book. And man, the chiclet size will literally last you the whole book.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, and that way, because like some people like to do crafts with their bands. So when you're done with your book, if you wanted, you could take all of your bands off, and there you go.
Dude, you
awesome.
are light years ahead with this book, and you're really onto something.
Thanks, Joe.
You're really, really onto something.
100%.
I would encourage Stogie Geeks, go to thebigashsmokebook.com. Check out what it is that we're talking about. If you want one with the Stogie Geeks logo, if not, Lace, why don't you talk about some of the other options that they could put on the front cover as well?
Yeah, there's I think I have maybe 13 or 14 cover options that you could pick from. There's a couple skulls, because I noticed the skulls are real big in the community, and I have them. There's like a cowboy skull and a mafia, a top hat, a gentleman guy, a soldier, a biker, a construction worker. There's the mountains that you could get. There's a whiskey and sticks. There's a ton of options, and I love to custom make options too. So if you have a logo, I'll put it on there. If you don't have a logo and you want to get one, I will gladly design something for you. I really want to make the smoke book so freaking personalized to every person, man. I really do, because it's something that, for me, I take it everywhere. I carry it everywhere. It's part of who I am, and I want other people to experience that too.
If I were a brick and mortar shop owner, Christmas gifts for my members with your logo on it, boom. Yeah. And if you pick up the phone and call Lace, you might be able to get the price down a little bit. Just saying. Tell them you heard it on Stogie Geeks, because you'll be buying 100 of them or 50 of them or whatever.
Discounts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Discounts for shops, clubs, yeah, for sure.
If you have a cigar club, I'm
Cigar
thinking,
Squad?
I'm thinking up in Queensbury, right? Queensbury Tobacco and Pipe. They have a motorcycle rally cigar run that they do. And they do it for charity and all this stuff and whatnot. Dude, how freaking cool is that? Because all these guys are driving motorcycles. This thing just fits right in that back component or the satchel or, Drew, I'm not a bike guy. Help me out here. What's the thing called in the back?
That is called your trunk.
In your trunk? You get your book in your trunk, right? So you can put that there and then do that there, dude. It's just such a super cool novelty idea. And again, if you're buying in bulk, it's print, things change. Great idea. And it's bundled for them. It comes all wrapped up like an old gift, and it's got a little string around it and everything, and it comes all bundled together as well. So the presentation is just remarkable, and the product is super cool.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that a lot.
We'll pause a little bit for questions for either Nelson or Drew.
Yeah. I'll go first. Yeah. So definitely. So I think for me, I'm thinking about my cigar lounge, getting these, and you're right. Absolutely getting them for the members, for their, for gifts and whatnot. Because we stash cigars in their lockers every month, kind of as a thank you for being a member of our lounge and whatnot, and to put that in there around the holiday, that'd be awesome. And
nice,
the other thing to that too. So if I was to go on there and order one and I had the Stogie Geeks logo on there, and I mean, can I personalize it to the point where I can put my name on the front part of that? Man. I will work with you for whatever you want, whatever people want, man. I will work on it.
Yeah, we could do your names. There's a cover that comes with a spot I can put your name on. We can throw the logo on for your cigar shops and your clubs, and yeah, man, the sky's the limit.
Awesome. And then the other part to that is just So these, so if I want to go back and order, let's say I ordered 2, and then I go back and order again, you have that font and all that artwork already saved, and then you just print it out or whatever.
Yeah, he's not like Nelson who loses numbers. He's going to keep it on the cloud.
Oh my god!
But yeah, no, that's that. Man, I'm very impressed with this, Lacey. This is awesome. I think it's well needed. I like to write because I like to try to keep my penmanship looking, nice. Because I've seen guys that just do nothing but use their computers and type and do all that. Then they write something. I'm like, what the hell did you just write,
dude?
And
that's it, man.
Total. Yeah. I am a wicked victim of that. Like, because obviously I'm all typing and there and outside of my Stogie Geeks duties with cybersecurity, it's like, it's like I'm in computers and we're typing. Yeah. And like when I go to write a check, I'm like, what the hell? Like, how the hell you spell 1,000? Like, you know what I mean? Like where? Yeah. Like, it just happened, and it's funny because I catch myself. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting that old. You know what I mean? But like, it's weird how it just catches yourself. Johnny, cool. Just so you know, 1997. I'm only down.
ADD.
Might want to look at my portfolio, just saying.
This is the ADD section of the show.
No, they're all ADD sections. They're all ADD sections of the show. But Joe, you make a great point, right? Just FYI, for you Stogie Geeks out there, Andrew, he has the logo, high resolution. It's on file, so you don't have to email me and get it. He has it all archived in his cloud, backed up.
Just tell him.
So he's all set. Just say, hey, I heard you about it on Stogie Geeks. I'd like the logo. If not, put your own logo on there, put your name on there, knock yourself out. If you get it, take a picture of it, tag us on Facebook.
That'd be cool.
There, or just email me a picture. We'll do a collage. It'll be super cool. But Nelson, question?
Yeah, I mean, a question and a few comments. So, I mean, I found Lace on Instagram, internet sensation, Nelson DeMello. Cigar Squad. Don't forget to check me out.
Cigar Squad.
Follow the Big Ash Smoke Book on Instagram as well. But Lace, I got to be honest. Say whatever. When I got that package in the mail from you, I was totally blown away, man. Just totally blown away.
The presentation's it's awesome. Yeah.
And that's where I'm going. It was the presentation. I was like, man, like this guy. So I opened the book. So I got, no joke, I had the same reaction as Joe with the chiclet. I'm like, the fuck is this? Like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
So no joke, I set it aside, right? I had a camera because I told him I was going to do a little review, and I did do a video review for him on my Instagram for this, right? So I took the chiclet. I'm like, I don't know what this thing is, so I put it aside. He had the marker, the little, like, the presentation was phenomenal. Like, it's got an old school feel to it, right?
Yes.
When you get it, even the paper, it's not like, you can't get this through the video feed that we have, and definitely not on the audio. But man, when you get this thing, this paper's like quality old school paper. Like, I don't know, what kind of paper is it?
Actually, having worked from Xerox,
here we go.
I believe it's called parchment paper.
Papyrus,
right? But it's actually above a 24-pound gauge of paper.
Yeah, it's 32 pound. It is 25% cotton, linen, ivory stock. It's sweet, man. Like, I wanted to get paper that feels good, that looks good, that it stands up to ashes and water, and that's why I spent so long testing all these different pens out, because I mean the book can work with any pen,
sure,
but I wanted one that's not going to bleed through, not going to come off on your hand, not going to, if it gets wet, it's not going to smear. So I mean, it's like foolproof.
So I'll continue with my pontification, because I'm a huge fan of this thing. That's why I asked him to come on.
I have one question. Did you call it a chiclet when you got it, or did I?
No, honest to God, I had no. Listen, Lace, I'm going to be completely honest with you, brother.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell that was. My son was with me. He had the camera because we were going to film the unboxing and everything. And I took it out. I showed it to my kid. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I had no idea what it was. But that's because that's user error, right? I didn't read the letter. Had you read the letter, you would have known it was freaking glue for fucking ribbons. But anyway, so then I got myself coordinated, and I read the letter. I'm like, oh, this is glue. I'm like, all right, now I get it. So I did like 3 takes of that thing, because I'm like, I started filming it, and I'm like, wait, what's this chiclet thing? I had no idea what the hell this thing was. So I mean, I go through it and I'm like, I'm looking through the book and I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't have to tell you this. I'm such a huge fan. This thing covers air. Like, I can't get over it. And I keep going to the phrase, you put so much thought into it. There's so much thought into this. But what I did want to ask you about was the presentation, because that's what I was blown away by. Like, was it always the marker, the glue, and the rope? Like, how did you get to that? Because I got to tell you, I agree with Joe. And also the paper. Did you always have that paper from the jump, or did you switch the paper as you went? Like, what was the evolution of that?
It started out, everything was basic, man. Just like basic computer paper, basic printer paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, as I was using it, it would get ashy, and sometimes, there'd be like water spills on it. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I'm not a fan of the bright white, shiny, paper. That lost the traditional feel to me. And that for me was really important, because I'm a traditional guy. And I think that in the world of apps and mobile shit, that we're really just losing a simple connection to basic things, and I didn't want
no question there.
to navigate.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are. And
wait, but keep going. So how did you get to that then?
All right. I think I started looking just like, well, what other papers are there? I want something that feels good and that's, thick. And I went on a search, man, like hardcore search. In the office stores, they don't have anything that I wanted.
Yep.
I mean, I've literally, I even outsourced this at one point to like a printing company. And I was so dissatisfied with the lack of concern and care, and like the staples didn't line up right, and sometimes margins were off, and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, I'm not charging people for this. So I went back to doing it by hand, every single one. It doesn't matter if I get 200 orders a week. I do every one by hand, because I want this to be something that people just fucking love, man. Just love it.
So are you still doing it yourself?
Yes, every book by hand, man. Every book.
Hashtag integrity, man.
I hashtag integrity for sure. I want to geek out a little bit on the printing process of that, showing off my background, but also like if you ever heard of a product for paper called Never Tear.
Okay.
Right. It's like magazine glossy and super heavy, but like you cannot rip it. And I was impressed when my son was born 2.5 years ago. My mom bought him a subscription for the highlights. We all got them when we were kids.
Yep.
Or saw them in doctor's office. Well, now they come in like almost the size of your book here, but they have the 0 to 3 years old version of Never Tear, and like you can't rip it. You can dip it in water. I mean, he's taking it in the bathtub. It's crazy, and you can still write on Never Tear. You could probably do it with this pen. The one that you're currently using, the Sharpie, looks like the Sharpie Point Fine pen, like the fine point version of the Sharpie. The only downside is, and I know this from experience, I'm left-handed, and as we know, the alphabet was written, and the way that we write was written for the right-handed person. So we always drag our hands across the paper when we write. That's not the case on yours, right? But I'm saying that is a downside for Never Tear, but Never Tear is a super cool product for you to look into, because like
look into that.
Kids have it. It's going to be in the same ballpark price point. But take us through the process. You get a book, you got the logo, you got the name, whatever. Like, what are you printing this stuff on?
I have a higher quality laser printer. It's not like a high quality that you would see in like a commercial print shop.
Sure.
But it's a much higher quality than just you would have in like your home office kind of thing. I really wanted something that I knew that the quality of print was not going to chip or, bleed, because with that 25% cotton paper, sometimes print will just lift up off of it.
Yeah.
So I needed to make sure that the heat process was dead on.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. If you ever want to further the business model and get rowdy, I mean freaking rowdy, I've put in my business, I've put publishers on Amazon.
Oh, nice,
For
man.
a
Okay.
business model, and I think your product for all those sectors would be fire, like crazy on Amazon, because I have done it myself where I'm going to get into cigars and I Google cigar journal, or I'm going to do stocks day trade and I day trade, and should I get a day trade journal? Should I keep it in mind? Should I not? These are all the little mental things that happen in my journey, right? You know, should I write my business notes? Should I do that there and whatnot? And like, they make them on Amazon for that there too. And then what's super cool is what I did with the client is I actually had a client who was, I met her through my business sponsored someone. It was a Chinese student to be a foreign exchange student for one of the schools that I was consulting for at the time. And we got to have him come to America and be educated here and all of that stuff. And she's like, hey, Joe, you know, I got to run a business idea about you. I'm like, yeah, shoot. I wrote these curriculums for PASA, which it stands for Providence, the city of Providence, Rhode Island, Providence After School Alliance Program, PASA program, right? So it's a program for children who are having trouble in schools developmentally or challengingly. It could be because of parental or financial education or whatever reason, or learning disabilities. But she had workbooks that these kids could go through and whatnot. She goes, any chance I can get these published nationally? I'm like, yeah, we could throw it on freaking, and then like you send them the graphic, the this, the that, and get the thing. And dude, Amazon takes care of it for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now I know there's a price to pay for that, but if you're doing an organic search, that's the place to be, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
if you want to go from selling 1,000 a month and I don't even know what your numbers are, that's really your business. But if you want to go from 1,000 a month to 10 or 20,000 a month and not touch them, that's the way to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
the thing is, though,
Yeah,
you got to
I'll
maintain
do
that quality that he has.
Oh no, dude,
Right?
dude, Amazon. Come on, it's Amazon. What if they freaking?
No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just saying, like, I mean, listen, Lace, you know, I've talked to you off air and stuff. I got this package in the mail. Like, I didn't know when I met him and ordered one from him what it was going to look like. This thing reeked quality and mindfulness of a cigar smoker as soon as I opened it. I was just like blown away. And listen, whatever. The people listening, whatever, he didn't pay to be on the show, whatever. I sincerely am just a huge fan of this product, like as a cigar smoker. The thought that went into this damn, and I know I keep saying it, and I'm just telling you, Lace, you have an amazing product. I don't know of anything out there that's like this.
Thank you, Nelson.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of time on this, a lot of different versions, and spending a lot of time reaching out to people that bought it and getting their feedback and what they didn't like, what they did like. Are there any extra flavor notes that I missed? I mean, I really want this to be just like a bomb ass book for every cigar smoker that gives a shit enough to want to, follow what they're smoking.
Right on, brother.
What's your background?
Yeah.
Like, what's your background?
Yeah, good question.
I've been self-employed since I was 17, man. I started in like the IT business. I built computers and, did like IT work for folks, and got real sick of that after, so many years, and always loved the internet, man. I loved, websites, and, and I was like, well, I'm going to learn how to do websites. And I taught myself how to do it, and really loved it, and went into business doing that and marketing, and I got a team of folks with me, and that's what I've been doing the last like 20 years.
That's on the Boss Bear Creative.
Yep. Right.
Gotcha. So talk to us a little bit about that. Well, what are some of the projects that you work on?
A little bit of everything. I got clients from all different industries. I started out in the pet industry in particular, because I love animals. My wife loves animals. We don't have any kids. Animals are, pets are our kids. So I really connected with pet people. I love the pet industry. So started there, and and then it just branched out from there. There really isn't an industry I can think of that I haven't worked with.
So you're still designing websites and all that stuff now?
Me personally, I don't anymore. My staff, handles all that. I have project managers and marketers, designers, that stuff. I kind of just manage the business, but like cigars is where my passion and my heart is at now. So whatever I can do to meet more cigar people, I love the cigar community and the cultures. And there's so many different kind of cultures in the cigar industry.
Yeah.
I just love it. I just love it.
What got you into the industry? Like, take us through that first month when you're like, holy crap, I'm in that, like, I describe it as that wanderlust, right? Like what? Yeah. Take us through that first month. Like, where were you? What kind of smoker were you? What the hell you were smoking? There's no judgment here.
No judgment. I'm
He's like, dude, smoker, I was on your pre-show with you and Nelson. There is excruciating judgment on this show.
No, I'm still learning everything, and I'm like an open book. There's not cigars that I won't try. I'm not one of those people that are like, no, I don't like dark ones, or no, I don't like Connecticut's. I will try everything. When I first got started, it was kind of like I would smoke whatever my father-in-law would give to me. So I got started with Olivas and Brick House and CAO, which I still love them all now. I'm trying to learn more about the boutique cigars. I haven't got too far into that. I'm a member of Pravada Club, which I love them because I get new cigars every month to try out that I wouldn't be able to get elsewhere. But I'm like really new to it. I'm just like absorbing everything. I love meeting people and just learning like what they like and where they get their cigars, and just the way how people taste things differently just blows my mind.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing in the in the wine industry. I remember, I went to a wine making class, right? And it was like a 6-month curriculum, and you learn all about stuff. And I'm like, dude, this is so freaking cool. Like, what I mean? I love that stuff. Craft beer, wine. We've done. My son's been. I should say our son's been to. I can get in trouble for that, right?
Your son,
right? Our son's been to freaking breweries and vineyards, and I bring my acoustic guitar, and we'll be in the vineyard, and he'll sit in a blanket and play with his toys and do his thing, and I'm strumming the guitar, and we're tasting the things and doing that and learning about tannins and it's you are right about people's palates, man. Right. It's like such a rabbit hole that you can go down. And to me, it's for me, it's all Fascination Street, right? I love the business models of vineyards. I love the business models of craft beer. I love the business models of cigar shops, brick and mortar cigar shops, cigar factories. Like, I love the small business aspect. I love small business. A huge small business advocate. And it's like I love all that stuff. To me, it just fascinates me. And all the moving parts, but you are right. Like, people's palates are amazing. Like,
man, yeah. Like, I remember, like, when I first started smoking, I smoked cigarettes for like 20 years, and I quit, maybe like 10 years ago, and I still smoke pipes, but my tobacco experience kind of ended there. So when I would smoke cigars at first, I would be like, oh yeah, this is good, but it's tobacco. I don't understand what's so exciting about it. And then the farther I got, the different kinds I was tasting, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm starting to see what people like. And then when I joined the Pravada Club, and the guy that runs it, Brian, will send this printout with the cigars that he sends, and he, like, the tasting notes that he describes, I'm like, dude, how are you tasting this shit? And like the one, it was like something like fresh printed paper or something. And I was like, come on, man. But believe it or not, after that, I probably tasted that in like 10 cigars that I smoked. And I was like, holy shit, that's what that tasted. Yeah. Like, to me, that's
he incredible. Does go overboard. No, I'm in Pravada too. No, he does, because I get to say I'm in Pravada too. So he does send he'll be like, oh, butcher block table flavors. Like, I don't know. Like, some of it's a little over the top for me. Like,
but honestly, I can appreciate what he's doing. He's creating a fascinating visual for you.
Yeah,
because
he does.
Because honestly, love to have him on the show. Open invitation.
I'm trying. Right?
Right. It's like you got to know how to hold an audience, right? It's like it's like you know, look at Drew Estate and the acid community or the infused community.
Yep.
Like I've said it here multiple times. Like they've built a cult, and
Right
it's
on,
like
Joe.
and it's like, dude, it's about captivating an audience, getting that audience, being a category king in your category, right? And there are plenty of other infused cigars in there, but when you're talking category king, it's Drew Estate.
Yeah, when you hear infused, you think Drew Estate.
It's Drew Estate. It is what it is. It's
No
not.
question.
It's not. You know. And like I've gone to some super freaking cool promos from Drew Estate. Like I remember Drew Estate had a 1964 Impala called the Dunk, and I guess the car got stolen. The car was like tricked out, and then when you went to events, you could take a picture of you in the car. And it was some dude, bald and big and bouncer like and whatnot.
I wasn't there.
And like, dude, this is going back like 2004, right? And it's like, dude, and it's like, you know, awesome. Alec Bradley came out with the original Tempest. God, I don't even know why they even discontinued the original blend. But anyway, right? I digress. But I remember like they had a roller there, and you paid your due the entry fee, and you got 3 Alec Bradley Tempest, not Tempest Maduro, not the Tempest that's on the streets now. This is going back to 2004.
Tempest.
The old. By the way, I have freaking 6 left. Thank you, Jonathan, from Alec Bradley. Right, and I'm like freaking like, you know, like you got to roll them, and then she would roll them in front of you and hand you your 3, and she would say, "Are you going to smoke these now?" And I'm like, "Well, not all of them." She goes, "Here's the deal: smoke one, and then after you wait 24 hours, don't smoke it for 30 days." So me being a Stogie geek, pre-Stogie Geeks, why is that? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Why?
Yeah.
And she says that there's the glue that comes on, and what happens is, and again, this is the life takeaway for me because I'm always learning. I'm an open book, right? She's like, it's pretty simple. Have you ever had a cigar that tastes like ammonia? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, tobacco's not ready.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
And not the tobacco's not ready, it was fresh off the rolling process. Now, I've gone as far as pulling shop owners aside privately and saying, yo, you need to pull those off the shelf for 30 days. Why? Tobacco's not ready. It's ammonia.
Yeah, they have to rest.
No. But, you know, when it's the latest, hottest thing, sometimes a month. Now, in a normal world, it sits in a warehouse. It sits in a freaking box truck or whatever those things are called in Miami. Hopefully they don't get stolen. And then they get distributed. And by the time they get to the shop, it's been a month.
Well, that's the thing, though. See, that's the thing. Now we're going to open up a whole, and we're not going to go there.
Well,
but
we can't because we have to do conversation starters in 3 minutes.
Exactly, but just to button it up, right? And Joe, you probably know this more better than anybody, right? Every company stores them differently, right?
Sure.
So some are more ready to smoke than others. That's why I always say, let them rest. You get them in the mail, let them rest. Because while some are probably ready to smoke, right? What you said, Joe, is more the reality is you're going to get that ammonia right away.
See, I don't because
Joe smokes everything, by the way.
No, because you know why? Because you should have took the responsibility of the rest. The consumer doesn't pay $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000 for a car and let it sit in the garage for a month.
Exactly.
Let it rest. That's the
Great
consumer's thing. So in respect of Nelson's time, and Lace, if you want to stick around for the second segment, Drew and I are going to BS about some sticks. If you have some time, it's only going to go 20 extra. It's only going to go 20 extra minutes.
I got till 2:45.
You told me 2:30.
No, 2:45.
Oh, you doing like Johnny? You always lie to me about your hard stops.
Check your text. I said 2:45.
I didn't check my text. Like, this phone's over here.
2:45.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. So even better. So Johnny's cool with that because Johnny has a hot stop at 3:30. So we're good.
Boom.
All right, cool. We're good. Drew, you're good, right?
Of course.
All right, good. All right. So, good. So let me finish. So, like, if it's not ready, I'm gonna spend $50, $60, $100, $180. The shit ain't ready. Don't put it on the shelf. That's it. That's responsibility. Don't sell it. You know what I mean? And
How long do you guys personally let your cigars rest for?
me?
Yeah.
Well, no. You should get the correct answer from Nelson and Drew. Because I am do not follow the way that I smoke cigars.
No.
Even if you're a Stogie Geeks listener, all 10,000 change of you, like, thank you very much. We love you guys. But, like, do not follow advice on keeping cigars or freaking.
Joe keeps them in a backpack.
Dude, I walk around with my cigars in a Ziploc bag. With a backpack.
No, but that's a good question, right? That's a good question because what I have found, and actually, I love that Lace, Drew, Joe. We've never talked about this on the show, I don't think. I'll get things. There's a Bovita in there. It's in a nice bag, whatever. And then other times you get.
Get things. I'll throw out the Bovita. Like, no, it's gone.
Madonna mia, are you serious?
What the hell with that thing? You know what I mean?
So, I mean, if it comes with there's certain, like, I will say, like, I'll just, this is not a plug for Pravada, but I'll give Pravada credit, right? Most of the sticks, 99% of the sticks I've gotten Pravada, I can smoke them right out of the bag. Because I don't know how Brian keeps them, but, they come out, they come in the bag with the Bovita, it's a nice bag, they're ready to smoke. But other times, you'll order some shit online, and there's no Bovita, it just comes in, like, shrink wrapped, in a box, and it's like, all right, clearly this is not ready to smoke. It's been at least 5 days in packaging, and I know I can't smoke this. I mean, to answer your question, I wait 30 days. I mean, but that's me. There's no scientific reason for me doing that.
Yeah.
I just wait 30 days.
That's why Nelson's cell phone's broken, because when he gets his cell phone, he puts a 30-day counter on it, and he's got all these counters, and frickin' there you go.
You know what? Social media sucks. It just sucks.
And I'm just saying, right? Oh, yeah.
It's the devil.
Drew,
it's
answer,
totally the devil.
What do you do? Drew rotates him a quarter turn when the moon is, like, at half full, and, like Drew's, like, on a witch's calendar when he rotates his cigars, something like that.
Yeah, when I receive a package from Pravada or whoever,
Cigar Bid?
or if I go over to the lounge and pick up some, I typically will just throw them into I got a big, nice cedar chest with sealed, and it has the Bovita in there, and it has the temperature, the humidity set. I just let them sit for about 15 to 30 days, just depending on what it is, and then I rotate them into my cigar humidors. I got like 4 of them.
That he keeps inventory for.
Which
is why he needs the big ass smoke book.
Why he needs the book.
Yes.
Hold on, Drew.
Exactly.
Drew, you have an inventory?
Yes, he does.
Of every stick in your humidor right now? All your humidors?
Yeah. Can you imagine going to Drew's garage? Wait, you're in the cigar garden. Can I get this? Yeah, hold on. Beep.
Yep.
Dude, I don't have that kind of time. I just don't have that kind of time.
I was on the lunch the other day with some friends, and they were like, he's like, hey, I got to stop at the cigar lounge and grab some cigars. I go, well, what are you looking for? And he goes, he told me he was looking for it. I said, hold on. So I got into my little satchel that I have and digged out 3, 4, and gave them to him. But but that's what I do. I mean, I do have, certain humidors that hold certain cigars, and they've already been aged and they're ready to smoke. So, but yeah, that's my whole thing. I like to let them sit for a little bit. Even though they're ready to smoke, I know from Pravada they're pretty much ready to go, and then I take my little handy dandy deal here. Let me get this out.
Oh, this thing's freaking classic, Lace. Wait till you see this. You might want to hold on to your tissue because you're gonna start crying. He sticks it in the ass of the cigar.
Wait, what is that?
To get the humidor temperature. Wait.
Is that one of those meters for the cigar itself?
Yeah, Cigar Medic.
So you literally check that before you smoke?
Yeah.
I do sometimes. Yeah, it depends on what it is and the Vitola.
I love
and
you,
whatnot.
Drew G.
I just want to make sure it's good, So I want to capture the ultimate experience through the cigar, and then from there I fairly make my assessments of the cigar and write my notes.
Is that in the book? What humidity it was at?
No, I don't know.
There you go, Lace. You got to add for Drew. You got to add the humidity and temperature it was at.
Oh my freaking!
Yeah, I've actually thought about that because I know that's just a big deal for people.
Nah, don't do it. I would feel like
it is for Drew G.
It really is. Dude, 60. My perfect cigar is between 65 and 68.
Yeah.
70. A lot of people go up to 70 on the HR, but I like 65 to 68. To me, is perfect.
Yeah,
you get.
That's what I was going to ask you. What your ideal temperature was?
That's when you get into the. That's when you get into the sourdough, the the graham cracker. I don't do graham cracker, but like the dried fruits. Those where you can really get that palate really working. And I'm not saying that that if it's at 70 you wouldn't get it, but for me, 65, 68, it's pretty nail on, spot on with the tastes that you're going to get after you've been smoking cigars after for a time. I got friends that get them and they're all they taste is tobacco. All I taste is tobacco. I'm like, okay.
What's your utopia, Drew? Like humidity and temperature. What's your utopia?
70. In the 70s.
70.
No, like in the 70, 69. I'm gonna say like 60 in the 60s. 60 to 70.
69, 69. That's mine.
Yeah.
Joe, you can't speak because yours is in a backpack. So you don't have a humidity and temperature.
He likes to hork them down.
But
he likes to hork them.
It's in a Coach backpack.
It's true. Oh. This is a true story. And listen, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful bag.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take that away.
So anyway, to answer your question, there's Drew's satchel with his 60%. What is that thing called? The cigar prick? What's it called?
That's the cigar medic.
That's what it should be called.
The cigar
prick.
Cigar medic and whatnot. All right. So you're over here like this, right?
I'm sold.
So Drew walks in and he's got his satchel and he's got his medic and he's definitely got a fancy knife which he sent us.
Oh, I love that knife.
Which is this knife. I treasure this.
From France.
It's got the picture of freaking the map of Cuba, so if I'm lost, I know where to find the fields.
My wife's not listening, so one of the best Christmas gifts I got. Thank God my wife's not listening.
Yeah. And Drew,
nothing for the best for those two.
He plugs in the cigar prick. It goes beep 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 beep. Okay, 67. Drew right there, 67.
Ready to go.
Right?
Is that the official name? Cigar prick.
If it says 64,
cigar medic.
Lace. If it said 64. If it said 64, Drew puts it back. Meanwhile, it has a hole in it because he stuck the freaking thing up the cigar to the butt. Comes there. He's like, I'm not getting the optimal gram from this cigar. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Right? So then it walks Joe. I'm on the phone. I'm talking to somebody. Everybody loves to play Let's Make $1 Million with me, so I always listen. Let's do that. Okay, cool. And I used to walk around with this tactical backpack, right? And it had a lot of stuff. Well, this year, and Drew, you started this rabbit hole, and Johnny, our producer, and Gustavo have mentioned this. They're like, dude, you're kind of going like a little metro on us, right?
A little bit.
Because I'm like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, you're walking around with your Coach backpack, you're smoking your pipe, you got your little knife, your fancy knife over
Goose
here.
Is right.
From Drew. You got this show him the Bunsen burner, Drew. I don't have it on set. It's on my desk. Yeah. Got the Bunsen burner. You know what I mean? Like, to get the soft flame, because Drew likes the flicker of the flame to come on the ash, and you got a visual, right?
Oh my God!
I keep my cigars in a Ziploc bag, probably not Ziplocked, with no Bovita pack,
no Bovita at all,
no freaking crush-proof case or anything like that, and they work, and it works, and it's functional. And that's that. And chances are, if I had a limited something or other that only, and it's happened multiple times here on the show, I'm like, dude, I already, someone had sent me samples, right? I remember, I'm having a brain file. The guy's name is, it'll come to me, right? I'm like, dude, I already smoked that. And he's like, now this is like April, all right, of 2017. And it's coming out in IPCPR. Not PCA, but same thing, right? IPCPR of 2017. He's like, that's coming out. Like, that's kind of like reserved. You didn't save that? I'm like, nah, dude, that was the first one I grabbed. I was like, I didn't know what it was, and I grabbed it. I smoked it.
That's where I'll say, I'll defend Joe.
Like,
while he keeps it in a Ziploc bag, they're gone by the end of the day.
Yeah. And, I'm giving them out. I don't care. Lace, you could give me, Joe, there were only one of these smoked in the world, right? there's one of these smoked in the world, and I would be like, let's go. And then freaking light it up, dude. Like, light it up, like, right there.
There's no special
I
day.
have no special day. I'm an open book. I like to take notes. Now I have a freaking resource to take notes.
You're set now,
You know
buddy.
what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm good, right?
And there's millions of us like that.
You know, there
Hell
is.
yeah.
There are, dude.
There's millions of us
There
like
are.
that.
And you know, but yeah, and that's how I am. And like, I remember there was this kid, George, who used to visit next door, right? Super cool guy. He was he was a cool dude, right? And he would come into the office, and I'm like, yeah, dude, take these. These things suck, right? And he's like, well, why are you giving them to me? I'm like, well, I don't like them, but they got great ratings, and supposedly they're like really good sticks. That's all I said to him, right? He takes a picture on Facebook. Joe from Stogie Geeks, thank you. Da 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 da. People were like, dude, holy shit, he gave you a $90 cigar, right? And I was like, oh. And George is like, did you give me the wrong cigar? I'm like, no. I'm like, I gave you the red Cohibas. He's like, dude, they're like $80, $90 retails. I'm like, well, they still suck. Like, I didn't. They didn't speak to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's it. You know what I mean? And he was like,
Yeah,
oh,
man.
thank you. So I wrote. I said, hey, when's the next time that you're in town? And he's like, well, I'll be there like, you know, next week or whatever. I'll come pick up the rest of them. I'm never going to smoke them again. You know what I mean?
For the record, they're not Cohiba Red Dots because those are definitely not $90.
they're the $90 freaking, I don't know what it came out.
They're probably real Cubans.
I'm like freaking, no. It was a Cohiba.
Spectra.
What is that what it's called? The Spectra? Is that what it's
Well,
called?
that was
Drew?
the one I had. That's the one I had.
Yeah, it's like
about-
$80, $90
all right, that
or
makes
whatever.
sense.
It's a $9
Yeah,
steak.
that makes sense.
Yeah. But
that didn't do me. That didn't do me as
But
well.
for you folks at Cohiba who will email me at joeh@storygeeks.com and question my integrity, that Cohiba Royale, they made up for it.
Oh, I love the Royale.
The Royale's awesome.
That is
like
the
Cohiba
only-
Royale is a good stick.
That's the only non-Cuban Cohiba that I like. I love it. It's a good stick.
Yep, absolutely. So, so that's my thing. Like, Lace, if you came, you know, in a post-COVID era and you came down to the studio and freaking hung out, dude, I'd be like, dude, try this, try that. Fucking,
Where are you, Lace? Anyway, where are you located?
it's Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, you're not far,
Pittsburgh. No, man, not far at all. I need to come up and have a smoke with you guys.
dude.
Yeah.
We're right next door. I don't think we
Nice.
told you this. We are literally next door to a cigar lounge. Like
Joe
we're
told me this morning.
the building is attached to a cigar lounge. Come on down,
so
hang out
awesome.
with us.
Actually, the cigar lounge is our landlord, but but anyway, right? Yeah, super cool. But before we do conversation starters with Nelson,
Oh, for fuck's
right?
sake!
We have to do that. We have to start that. Is there
Yes.
anything else
Yeah,
that
let's
you
do
guys
that.
want to add?
No, I mean, hey, go to the bigashsmokebook.com. Check this out. Again, I'm speaking as a cigar smoker. I mean, I brought this to Joe as a potential interview. I got the book from Lace. I thought it was great. Like, not just great. I mean, I'm telling you, I was blown away. The packaging, the presentation. I love the book. I use the book, and the thought that went into it is. I mean, there's no app that even does. You know, we talked about apps, Lace, right? There's no apps that capture everything that you've captured in that big ass smoke book.
No, man, there's not. And, the smoke book is not going to be for everybody because there's a lot of people that, don't really care that much and don't feel the need to keep track of everything. But for the people that do, I think it's going to really, heighten the cigar smoking experience for sure.
So
Go
ahead, Drew.
I'm with you. No, I was going to say I'm with you on that because, a lot of people like myself and Joe and Nelson and yourself, I think when we're smoking cigars, we like to be in a relaxed state of mind. And then from there, we can go ahead and depict what our situation is going on right there on that book. And I don't like to be on the phone because I get a lot of text messages or I get a lot of emails. And so I like to just kind of write on my little binder book that I have made
Not
for myself.
anymore.
And,
Not anymore.
not anymore.
Not anymore.
But yeah, and this right here is very simple. Check the boxes and then write your little, your experience with that cigar and then move on, And then I like that you put the label tack so that you can tack it onto that page. And then also, you can store it easily and whatnot. So yeah.
And
perfect. I like
Lace,
that.
when you do Drew's, you have to add 2 extra pages for SKU for his inventory. and quantity for that, right? You got to do a SKU, quantity, and then
You need an area for barcodes.
And then when you do Nelson's, please include a cell phone number so he can remember to call you and say thank you. There, don't forget cigar industry. If you need Nelson's cell phone number, email me at joey@stogiegeeks.com and we'll be able to get it to you because he's not going to know who you are.
Cranking.
Now you know that Nelson's going to go home and cry after this. Right?
He'll be fine. Okay, we have this week. We have conversation starters with Nelson.
What are you even talking about?
The internet.
This is in Lace's book. This is not coming from me. So there you go. Nelson, do you know where the phrase "close but no cigar kid" came from?
Ooh. Somewhere in my brain, I actually do. I read
Some
that
movie reference.
in the last 6 months. I actually read that.
Okay.
But as my wife will tell you, I have the worst memory on the planet, so I have no freaking idea.
Which is why he needs the book, so he can remember what he smoked.
And the answer is?
The answer is this phrase comes from the days in the mid-20th centuries when cigars were given for prizes for carnival games. Today, they get a stuffed animal.
Well, you know what?
What?
To that, you can also, it's a song by Weird Al Yankovic.
Is it?
Yes.
You're right, Drew. Yeah.
There you go.
No kidding. Okay.
No kidding.
See the knowledge you're getting, Stogie Geeks?
Now we have more. Legendary writer Mark Twain used to smoke 300 cigars a month. At one point, he had to quit the habit. However, he ended up suffering from writer's block, and then he resumed his cigar habit, and he wrote a book in 3 months.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yep. Nelson, have you ever wondered where cigar bands come from?
Ooh, yes, I have.
You've wondered this? Do you know this?
Again, I know I read it. I actually think I read this in Cigar Aficionado, actually.
Oh.
But, dude,
that'll help you.
You're asking the wrong person. I have the worst memory on the planet.
Are you saying the purpose? Are you saying the purpose of a cigar band?
No. Have you ever wondered where cigar bands come from?
Where do they come from?
Oh, where do they come from?
I've read this before. Listen, this is why I need the Big Ash Smoke Book. I can't remember shit. I got to write it down.
Well, we're going to tell you. Queen Catherine of the Great Russia was a cigar smoker, and to avoid having the smell on her fingers, she used silk bands to hold the smoke.
This is not what I read. So now I got to go back and find out what I read, because that's not what I read. That's interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Who invented that? Who's credited?
That's in volume 3.0. This is 2.0.
Get your Big Ash Smoke Book and you can find out.
Lace is taking notes. He's like, freaking on. These guys are killing me.
That'd be Gustav Bach.
Right. Absolutely.
Is credited.
Absolutely.
Who invented the cigar band in about 1854.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Lace, there's a challenge. Wait, does it have a year, Joe, on what you just read?
No, it doesn't have a year. Don't take it up with me. Take it up with copyright. That's not me.
Hey.
I just put the pickles on the hamburgers here. That's it. You know?
I am the band man for a reason.
Awesome. Lace, you can stick around for the second segment, so I'm going to go 20 more minutes.
Yes, sir. I'm sticking around with you guys.
All right, cool.
Whoa, he's hanging out. I love it.
Stick around. And Nelson's going to jump off, so it'll get better. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh!
Stogie Geeks. When we come back, Drew and I are going to review some of the sticks that we have been smoking. Lace is going to chime in. We got some commentary. We're going to take a quick break. 2 minutes. We'll be right back.